Well, hello there. If you will... Ooh, I thought I heard a balloon. I was gonna say... Wow. I've got a couple ideas that I want to work on. And I figured I'd just do a little update before I get into them. But look at this. The flowers have grown in. It's looking so nice here. David is gone because I had a growing suspicion that he was a piece of art that I could donate, and he in fact was exactly that. So instead of being weird about trying to sneak past him and everything, just donate him. He's in the museum. When I said I was gonna work on my house, I just kinda got crazy and built everything, and now it looks cool, and I didn't record any of it. So we're gonna go take a sneak peek-shee. And I went for a similar feel to the front entrance that has the bamboo vibe, but I'm going for more of like a forested kind of feeling here. Don't want to go for the exact same thing. And look at this. It's so cool. So I'm using the shrubs. They're like the red whatever starts. Kind of just looks cool to walk in between. I don't know what that would be akin to in real life, but whatever. I like it here. And then got my mailbox tucked into all of this. I actually just got that fossil door plate recipe this morning. That's what I got from the message in the bottle on the beach. Like I was saying last episode, going for something a little bit less asymmetrical makes it actually a lot easier to build. And then putting down the weeds and everything, it just fills in the space and it makes it feel not like overgrown a little bit, but just like more cozy, I'd say. But there's something else we have to go take a look at. If we go over this way, whoa, a house, extra house. So now we have 4 people tucked into one section. What the heck? So this is Gail's house, and the reason why I have her moved over here is we have Harold's house, and he's kind of tucked over here by himself now. This is where Gail's house used to be, and I'm going to be probably clearing out these rocks, but my plan for this section is to create an experimental flower garden where we're trying to get the hybrids. I'm going to do a bit of research to see how people like to set it up, but of course I'm going to be going for something that's also aesthetic as well as functional. So I want them to be able to grow, but I want it to look good. You catch my drift? Oh man, I feel like I have a bunch of things to do in this game. Because every time I do something, then I'm like, oh, that means I have to do this and that and everything else. And one of those things that I'm noticing is if I'm going to be true to form with this flower garden and try to have a little bit of everything, I'm gonna need some space. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work out. Ta-da! I've got this little section set up, and we can get like the primary colors of the flowers going on. I have 2 of the blue pansies because they just spawned from rain when they were next to white pansies, so lucky about that. But I know there's a whole complicated genetics thing for all the flowers and stuff, and I'm not totally sure how that works. So I've started looking into it, but it's kind of confusing. And if I'm going to have all the flowers, this is not going to be enough space. And this is looking pretty nice. I like having the flowers sectioned out to the colors, and having the space to walk in between. That also gives room for them to grow. If they do create a hybrid or something, then they'll just grow on the dirt path. They can still do that. That's perfectly fine. And I like where this is going. I like that it's Gaston. That's his name, right? Yikes. Gaston. Yep. He is now the caretaker of these flowers. But if I'm going to be expanding here, I think it's kind of time to do something with this orchard space. And as you can see here, I still got to take down where my house was. I've just been running around doing everything but, I have so many flowers here as well. So I got to figure out, in addition to like the garden focused on breeding flowers, what else I'm going to do just for aesthetic purposes. So we got that going on. Let me see. I got this. Ta-da! Hose reel from a balloon. How fitting. But before I go, I've got one more thing I need to do. But like, look at this. It's all grown in. No blossoms on the bushes. Just not their time yet. But with the white windflower, oh, it's so good. Those are definitely my favorite flower. I'm always searching out ironwood. And lo and behold, what did I get today? Hold on. I'm going to check because I need to see what I need. I got the Ironwood DIY workbench. So good. So I need wood and a mini DIY workbench. Yeah. Oh, it was like last week or something. I got the Ironwood clock and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's part of the collection. No. Look at this. Yeah, this room could use some sprucing up. Oh, I love the reachability, but wow. Oh, that's looking so good. But yeah, there's a lot happening in this room. Redoing this, focusing on interior stuff, that's definitely something I need to work on, but happy about that workbench. So I've been clearing this out slowly but surely, and I'm trying to find place for all the flowers and everything. So I've been doing that, but now I have the bushes, the shrubs, and I was like, oh, I should place them near the campsite. And that reminded me that this area could use some work. So I am now adding that to the list. So I'm going to be terraforming this area a bit and using some of the bushes from over there to make this place a little bit nicer. And over here, this is where all the flowers have been going. So I removed the tree that was over here, and now we have sort of like mini tulip garden over here, all white for Monique. And then over here, everything's tucked in pretty nice, so I'm just leaving it like this. And I didn't want to expand too far into the running path. Moved a couple of the shrubs right next to the staircase, and that's looking pretty nice. And then over here, got like little garden using up a couple of the different tulips. And this one was here before, so this ain't new. Been busy working on the campsite, and look who it is. It's Gaston, and what is he doing? He's checking out them flowers. He uses his magnifying glass to look at them, and then switches to his watering can, and then waters them, and then goes back to inspecting them. So I find that he does that more than anyone else, so that is kind of very fitting as to why I picked him for being the one surrounded by the garden. Okay, I've got this a bit cleared out here. Got a new jumping spot that's too wide to match up in front of the entrance, which I think is a bit nicer. And then that allowed me to reclaim some more space. And man, he is still going at those flowers. Look at him go. So yeah, he gets his title. I have crafted up a few items here. I'm just gonna lay them out so we can see what they look like, see how much space it takes up. Look at the garden lounge, you can put a pillow on it. So good. And I've decided that I'm gonna move the peach trees over here because this is the biggest area that I need to clear out. And I have a couple of items in here which are gonna be good over here. So I have to figure out how I wanna space it all out. And it got foggy. This is the first time I've really had that in the game, so kinda cool. I've been working on this area. I gotta take these down, and I gotta move the hyacinths. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put those, but got this area worked out. And man, today's a good day for Flick to be here because I got the day off and I'm just playing Animal Crossing, getting a whole bunch done, and I can actually make a decent amount of money. As per usual, I got way more invested than I thought I would. So this is the opening area, and this was the first kind of section that I was focusing on building up a lush and multi-leveled section. And not to this extent, but in this same vein, I definitely took this approach with completing the campsite. So, oh wow, already. The house stuff is gone. And look at this. Got some little water. Ooh. Hello, tiger beetle. So we got this one little tier here. I was kind of humming and hawing a little bit over that because of the blockage that I had from the house setup, but this works out a lot better. And we'll just take a little stroll through. And having already the peaches making it look like a forest, more so than an orchard, is feeling a lot better. Feels a lot more organic. And look at the rustling leaves. Got my little spa hanging out up there. This part was really cool because I just had that kind of chilling over here and wasn't doing much with it. So I moved it over here. So if we continue on through this way, da-da, we now have our little campsite section where we got our lounge. This looks good. I like it. Planted a few of the spruce trees in amongst them, so it's not just like all the same thing. That would be a bit much because the fruit, it looks very busy. So being able to have a little bit of a mix is quite nice. And what I like here is this section is pretty cozy. It's open, not as many weeds in this section because there's more walking done or just like more of a centrally hung out area. And then you can't access this way, but I kind of like that you have to actually like walk through the trees to get to the back here, just to get around this section. It just adds to the depth, and having to navigate how you're getting through it a little bit makes it that much more immersive. And it's quite nice to actually build up the place. Wow, there's a tent here, but none of my villagers are leaving, so I can't get anyone new. And I don't know all the tactics outside of the amiibo cards for getting people in. But anyways, just expand it out to this way, and it looks good. Of course, got to add a little workbench. I have it so it pretty much connects up with my pathway over to my house. So now I have 3 sections that are this kind of overgrown aesthetic, but I've given them each their own bit of individual style. So that front being the entrance being bamboo. Here I have these sort of like pillars. I don't know what you would call it. It's a bit more open, but the whole space is that same kind of style. And then over here, it's just being creative with the orchard idea. So it's not just a grid, because the more and more I'm playing Animal Crossing, the more I'm finding that the symmetrical kind of approach is very kind of boring. And with the previous games, like this is kind of what you could do. There wasn't too much alteration. But now with all the tools in the game, it just feels like it would be a waste to not take advantage of everything you can do. So I'm just gonna like go ham and add this in. And then also not having a dedicated section that's fenced off for the orchards, I'm not cutting out a chunk of the island that I can't really use for other things. So essentially, developing these mixed use sites is going to be sort of my plan of action moving forward. I got this section done. Showed you the gardens for the other houses before. Got my house, my old house section cleared out. Got this all built in. And I have cleared out the peach section of the orchard and all the flowers around it. And now I got to figure out what I'm going to be doing with these other fruits. I have an idea for the pears. I'm going to be working on that off camera. The next step is figuring out how to develop this further. So now I actually have to really go and do the research to see how I want to set up this experimental garden for the hybrids and everything. But that's going to be next episode. So thank you everybody for watching, and stay tuned for that.